James, if you hear that clap, you have Men in Blacked everything prior to it because, dear God.
Yeah.
All you need to know is I'm James.
And I'm Blowy Joey.
A.K.A. John the Dickleman.
John the Deviant / John the Screw / Blowy Joey Jimmy John. Jimmy Johns.
John is a deviant.
I've been on DeviantArt since 2004. Come at me.
Good God, you're showing your age.
I mean, I was in high school when I first got my account there.
And you still have it. I bet you still have the same one to this day.
No, actually. I deleted it. And I had like a mass exodus because I had like a friggin' anxiety-riddled like mental breakdown that made me go off the internet entirely for 2 months. Then I came back like Jordan and freaking dominated.
It's okay. You took your break. And then you're like, time for my second three-peat.
Time for the three-peat. Blowy Joey's back.
So, for the review this week, as you know, we have gotten in the habit of starting with reviews. It's actually one both John and myself will actually review. So this is a joint effort.
And it's a sports game.
It's Mario Strikers Battle League.
And I like how they actually got, what's that guy's name? Michael Buffer to actually say that in the game. I can't believe they shelled out the money for it. Let's get ready to sucker.
Let's get ready to
kick
Mario.
Could you just imagine like, let's go.
Suddenly Charles Martinet looks over at him. I'ma kill you.
Those are taking my paycheck. I'ma stab you.
So I
do a little mafia.
I am Italian after all.
Make it the pizza. Make it the pasta. Do a little bit of the mafia.
And I make the pizza out of you. Who ordered the flesheroni?
Mario's brand Yoshi food. It's like, that's where all the negative reviewers go.
Oh, before we review this, so I have to tangent with John. You remember when I was like high on those random dorkly Mario bits? And remember when Mario switched places with Yoshi?
Yeah, and it was kind of hot.
And Yoshi in this dorkly bit is literally making Mario eat the cacti. And he's like, shut up, you fat Goomba. Eat it. And Mario gets to the point where there's that ledge in Super Mario World. The infamous, you have to run with Yoshi, jump off to get to the other side, and basically sacrifice your Yoshi.
Mm-hmm.
And Yoshi makes it over because he sacrifices Mario. And he's like, finally, after all these years. And then it cuts over to Mario and he's not dead. And it's on a giant pile of Yoshi carcasses. And he's literally like, I deserve this.
It's like the one moment of actual like self-reflection that any dorkly bit has ever had. It's like every dorkly bit's just all like, oh my god, they killed Tails. Actually, no, I'm back. I'm invincible. What? And it's, or like, Sonic, do you have the money for the rent? No. Crap. Like, that's every dorkly bit.
Basically, the power-up mashup was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
So, anywho, back to the reviewing this game. So it is 3-on-3 competitive Mario Soccer. If you enjoyed Super Mario Strikers back in the day on the GameCube, it is back in force, better, bigger, badder than ever.
And like the presentation is just so good. The animations are really smooth. The effects are really tight. It's probably one of the best looking games on the Switch.
Yeah, and I have yet to experience any frame rate issues, any lag. Like, it feels like Nintendo actually, we'll say, a small step up, because I can't give them too much online praise. Looking at you, Smash Online play.
Looking at anything they've ever done, the fact that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still P2P. Yeah, everybody collectively.
So it's actually very rewarding. The items on point, the way the mechanics are on point. They actually streamlined it a little bit. So when it comes to more of the advanced techniques, like the perfect passes, the perfect shots, aim shots, very smooth, tons of fun. It is basically online only. You can play offline, but meh.
Yeah, the single player modes are a bit Spartan.
It's like you play one and it's like, this is not Sparta. This is SATA. If you aren't a fan of Mario sports games, this is the one you need to give a shot. It's fun, entertaining, enjoyable. It's one of the few things that You can put down whenever you want, because like most online games, once you get hardcore in there, you're
Get sweaty, yeah.
Hey-oh. Just unrolled the folds.
Don't
wring them out.
Oh god, titty sponges. Eat my juice.
So you're not really chasing anything. Like you can join a club, and that's cool, but you're not really chasing like rank or anything like that. It's nice.
So here's what I'm hearing then. I'm picking up what you're putting down. We need to make our own Battle League club and invite our listeners to it.
Done.
Yeah. I'm doing
Let's
this.
go.
I'm doing this right now.
I feel like we kind of peeked into the junk drawer again, and like part of it leaked out into the intro.
I can appreciate that. So let's bring it down. We just had the review. How about we go over like what did you do this week?
So I will let you take the high ground with this one, young Anna John.
Kind of an eventful week. I was supposed to go on a work trip myself. It was actually something I was supposed to drive to, and the drive is basically from like Central Texas out to Louisiana, and that is a 6.5 to 7 hour drive, which is
a 9-hour drive with your bladder.
Everyone else's too. Anyway, but we basically just went on a road trip to get where we were going to, and then when we got there, we didn't end up actually being able to do the assignment we were supposed to do because we had some incorrect information on start times, and so we didn't get to do the course we were supposed to attend, and we had to turn around the next day and drive back. And if you're a heavy boy like me, sitting in a car for like 14 hours over the span of 2 days is not comfortable, not fun, and genuinely just feels like a waste. So you're just kind of looking at the same trees you drove by because it's East Texas and nothing's there.
Yeah. That was not pretty.
No, but at the same time, I got to, chill with some of my coworkers, and that's always a good time.
Aw, you got the bonding moment.
Yeah, and if any of them listen to this show, sucked. Okay, you gotta play hard to get.
You're gonna give them like PTSD.
They're gonna have it for the rest of their lives.
It was Louisiana.
It was the bayou, boy.
So
I did get to eat some blackened alligator though. That was good.
Oh, you got to try it?
I got the po' boy. That was.
You went to
good.
Shane's?
Yes.
How fucking delicious is that?
It was good stuff, and it had frog legs too.
Oh, you actually got the frog legs too? Nice. Yep. Those are good too. There.
Yes, got to eat a frog's ass.
You wouldn't expect fucking Louisiana, especially bayou style Louisiana, to have that level of nice and harmonious food. I gotta expect good fried stuff, but some blackened, like perfectly cooked gator. Oh, I want to go back.
Good stuff. I say, other than that, some new games came out this week that I'm checking out. I played through Shredder's Revenge, the new TMNT beat 'em up. That's a lot of fun. It's again kind of in the same kinship with Mario Strikers. Mm-hmm. It's way more fun with people, and maybe there's maybe an episode to be done on that about the death of the single player experience. Who knows? But another game I have yet to try, which I'm excited to play, is Neon White, a game where you are a assassin in heaven and you use a card-based system to have weapons. And I'm like, I've never seen anything like this before, but I want it. And it looks very boomer shootery, so it's like good. So fast-paced, crazy simple, and just shooting all the time. And it might have dating sim elements in it too, because there are at least 2 female characters in there, and they're like highlighted on the box art of the game.
Is this already out?
Yes, it's already out on the Switch, I think. It's on the Switch, I know, because I bought it there. I don't know if it's on anything else.
You're ridiculous. And I'm all for it.
But then the other thing, I haven't touched Scarlet Nexus in a while. I need to get back into it. I'm still in the same spot I usually was, but new stuff has been coming out, so I've been playing it. Other than that, also Logic has a new album that dropped today.
Another one?
Another one. Yes, and so I am going to be checking that out tonight. I'm probably just going to put my headphones on and just... well, I can't do drugs, but yeah. I'll be having the experience.
You can utilize your dominant hand to the beats per minute of Logic and create what we call Fire Dick.
No, it's Fap Hero. it's like ON done, only it's cranking it.
All right, insert quarter. Here we go.
The fire and the flames in the background starts playing.
Everybody's like, "Hey, where's John at?" He might have detached himself from reality. In what way? Through his penis.
Has he achieved nirvana? How? Through his wiener.
So that's been it sounds like there was a little bit of a hiccup, but the rest of the week's been pretty awesome. For me, Martha, so my wife is the biggest Taylor Swift fan I have ever met, full stop, bar none. And this past weekend, we went to a record store, actually right down the road from here. And we were just going to try and grab some of her old albums and, fill in the collection.
Is this a record store nearby?
Yeah. It's called a music collection. They even have 45s, man.
Damn.
So we're in there. The owner comes out and he's talking with us and just like telling us his life story, how long he's been doing it and what makes him happy. And he really likes Swifties because of how passionate they are about music.
Okay.
Taylor Swift was the brand ambassador for Record Day this year. Now, I don't know about you, John, but if you've ever met a Swiftie, they are fucking nuts for Taylor stuff.
It's like a believer.
For more than that. They make believers be unbelievers. And she actually had a very limited print 45 for Record Day. Only 10,000 copies made. Whoever's genius idea that is needs to go get their dick punched.
It's like the same people who advertised Persona 4 Golden for the Vita and only made 10,000 of those. I snagged one.
Hey, look, see, you're collecting limited. Making me proud.
That was like 10 years ago.
You're somewhat collecting limited. Making me proud.
Well, I got that CDX I posted on the Twitter. Y'all shout out to the Twitter, Games with J&J.
No. Shout out to Henry.
Shout out to Henry for helping me acquire that new piece of my collection. But shout out to the Twitter so y'all can go see it and basically just be jelly.
Yep. And shout out to me because I randomly called him midday and said, hey, you want to see something cool? And I FaceTimed him and showed him, and he's like, what?
I remember picking up the phone and being like, dude, I'm bagging the weed as fast as I can. He's like, oh, hi, John. Oh, wait, okay, sorry, wrong guy.
But I was actually he parted ways with that album. Martha had resigned herself to never get that album. And like they can go on eBay for hundreds of dollars. And he parted ways with it for $80.
Word.
And just seeing that moment of realization that something she thought was out of reach became in reach, and it was sublime.
It's a companion to this story has been my newfound joy in kind of acquiring the retro stuff. For me, I've always been a proponent to, if it's the game itself is what matters, the experience of actually playing the game is what matters the most. However you play it doesn't matter. If it's emulator, whether it's through a collection of some kind that's recent, whatever. But because the fact that I have these, like the tower that I assembled and the Sega Saturn now, the Dreamcast and all the Sega stuff that I have, holding the cartridge, holding the original controllers, playing it on the CRT TVs and stuff like that, like recreating that experience.
Smelling the classic fumes.
Exactly, that petroleum. Made in Taiwan, baby. They don't make them like they used to. But no, like the tactileness of it is something that I really want to sell, because having that original feeling, like whether it's just the cartridge or the disc or whatever, is something that you can't really replicate. So when I got the CDX and I just held it in my hand, I was just like, this is something. It was the same thing that I had with Knuckles Chaotix when I bought that game. It's like, how often do you get to either re-experience something that you never experienced in your childhood? Like the way that I said it was, you don't often get to play a new game from your childhood ever. So it's the experience of having something that you actually care about. I guess that's why people have mementos and keepsakes and grounding objects and all that stuff.
My young John, welcome to Retro Park.
I am 2 years younger than you. And we're both old men.
It doesn't matter. My retro journey started long before you. And my retro journey came to a close. But I could not welcome you to Retro Park until you were officially retro. You are officially retro. So the park is wide open. Look at the majestic Dreamcastosaurus, the Saturnotops, the Tyrannosaurus.
Why would it not be called the Triteraflops? Yo. There it is. Gamersaurus Rex. Oh god.
No.
It'd just be like the broiest dinosaur. It'd be Denver the last dinosaur.
It'd be Chad the dinosaur.
I would hang the Giga Chad to the Raptors.
No, that's pretty awesome. Like, and outside of doing that for Martha, this week I finished up Dodgeball Academia. Cute little story, fun little dodgeball RPG game. Play it with friends. It's awesome, good time. Mario Strikers consumed my soul for the latter half of the week. And then the other half of the, I want to say it was Wednesday, actually, I also finished up Blacksmith of the Sand Kingdom. So I knocked 2 more full games out. We are at a grand total of 59 games this year now.
You're 10 away from the world record.
Actually, no, that was 2,742 and a third.
We need real lives. That's what we need.
I just made that number up randomly, but that's my goal.
Okay.
1 year. When I retire, it will be how many games I can complete in a calendar year.
You'll look like Gandalf, and you'll have the same type of weed that he smokes. And Saruman will be jealous.
So it's been a long intro. We wanted to catch you up because it's been manic these last couple weeks.
Yeah, and also it's not to interrupt. I'm sorry, but like it's been manic because of scheduling, because of things we're supposed to get done, and also me trying to keep up with a daily show for a weekend.
Yeah, takes a lot out of you, doesn't it?
A little bit, but at the same time, it's like a labor of love. So maybe I'm starting to kind of feel the magic here.
We love you finally, is what he's saying.
You're finally making it worth it. You listening right now. I'm talking to you,
Timmy, living a life.
I didn't know Timmy listened to our show.
Somewhere out there, Timmy's ears perk up.
Yeah, man. And he has a very inquisitive Timmy that he says.
Timmy. So don't touch that dial. When we get back, we basically have winded down from Summer Games Fest. We have a little bit more to share with you. Best school kid moment ever when I talked with John about what we're going to share with you. He had the more practical approach with the other information I neglected because one, didn't care, and 2, was jonesing on what I'm going to mention to you. So don't touch that dial. You get to see my drug-induced, legally, topic. Ladies and gentlemen, Summer Games Fest has finally come to a close.
And we got some pretty crazy announcements to cap off the show.
So I am going to hold my manicness in to allow John the more pertinent information, because mine is kind of that of a crackhead.
Now, I know what we're all thinking. Some big announcements came out of the past couple of days this last week, and we're all excited for each and every one of them. I know that even James is excited for it. Dragon's Dogma 2, baby. Here we go.
The fact... So...
The what?
So that was kind of... So Dragon's Dogma, it's kind of that game. It's a love it or hate it game, right? There's no real middle ground. There's no neutral experience for that game.
It's an experience that is uniquely Capcom, but like it also feels like that was because like Souls games were becoming popular and that whole exploration and stuff. But like to me, it's like they have so much experience with things like Monster Hunter that it applied to when they was like, we're gonna make a freaking medieval combat game. Okay.
I'm cautiously optimistic. If you haven't experienced the first Dragon's Dogma, I mean, it's literally Capcom Souls.
It's Capcom Souls mixed with Monster Hunter. It's set in medieval times.
It is weird. It's not bad to play, but you literally feel like you are kind of having an out-of-body experience because it's like, I don't know what game identity you have, but I'm here for it.
Maybe instead of invalidating it with the way that I've just described it, maybe it's its own unique experience.
Come and experience the dogma of a dragon.
You had me at come.
Didn't. There's a pool of it for you.
That's what makes rainbows. Is dragon jizz. Anyway.
No, remember, dragon poop turns into crystals.
Oh, thank you, Lunar. Thank you for ruining gems for me. Now I know what the Chaos Emeralds are, and I just knuckles polishing that turd. Just one other thing I wanted to mention. What was it? Blizzard Games. They had their big Overwatch 2 reveal and kind of showcase on what the game's going to be like now, the big changes coming to it. I also wanted to briefly touch on the fact that I did an episode when I was doing the one episode a day shtick. Xbox had their conference and I talked about it. And I didn't mention Diablo 4 or Overwatch 2. That wasn't me like obfuscating them or like trying to hide that stuff. To me, it was I wanted to focus on the things that other people might not be talking about because those games, of course, are going to get huge coverage.
I mean, when you have a game that's literally played at a collegiate level and scholarships are awarded for it, everybody knows about it. Everybody's expecting it. Everybody's chomping at the bit for it. Yeah, we get it. It's here.
It'd be like if like people were playing basketball for the first time ever, and then Blizzard announced Basketball 2. You know what I mean?
You remember The Longest Yard, the new version with Adam Sandler?
Yes, I do.
And Bob Sapp, will you teach me to play football?
I'll teach you anything. Just don't eat me.
Yep. Down, Shrek!
And then he gets slapped. He's like, wow, that dude just slapped the shit out of me.
Oh, look, you're half a star.
All right. But, so a lot of changes coming to Overwatch 2. For me, as someone who still enjoys the game, they're moving away from, the paid model. It's going to be free to play when it goes into early access this October. They're actually going to be cutting out loot boxes entirely, going with a Battle Pass model, much like a lot of games currently. But they're also going to have their own digital storefront where you can just buy things, which to me is a very welcome thing.
So they're putting the WoW model to it.
Sure.
Battle Pass, every Battle Pass known to man is certified World of Warcraft approved. Fault my logic.
All right, you're trying to start like a flame war. Okay, go for it.
Fans, fault my logic.
All right, you heard him, folks. If you manage to do it, we'll give you something. I don't know. Maybe if I actually find one of those copies of those freaking games, I'll sign it and send it to you.
He'll give you... Oh, actually, fun tangent! So this marks week 5 of unsuccessful endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
So they have already been reassembly hidden.
Is it still limited to the office, or is the studio in play now?
I told you the studio's in play. We talked about it on air, where it was literally right up there.
I need to know what is in play, because I get the feeling you're just going to change it each week.
No. I told you, month by month, locations unlock. Mm-hmm. So right now, the only 2 locations are studio, office. Studio, office. So you were very close to finding one.
You were supposed to send me a picture of where that was, but now it's moved, isn't it?
So, well, yeah, I already moved it. I already set it up for the next week. But, because of the chaos that ensued, this next week does not get an extra copy. That is my gift to you. The virus is halted for 1 week, so there's only 5 in play.
And here's my gift to you. Just to make sure that you know that Cloud is in good safekeeping right now, I have returned his Buster Sword.
So you may actually want to keep this with him, because this part gets loose and I will lose that. So I'll let you hold the sword.
I want you to keep it as a memento of this facade that you're trying to upkeep. Stop polishing the sword. I'm trying to be a friggin' serious badass over here, and you're over there stroking his Buster Sword like the actual phallus it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we call the leg splitter.
And because you were so gracious as to not include a new game this coming week, I will hold on disassembling him and giving you back 1 piece every passing week.
So, fun fact, if you disassemble him, he is actually broken. So please don't.
Well, you know how you can get out of this situation, don't you?
Would you really break the Cloud? Long pause for dramatic effect.
I just hope that the actual microphone picked up the fact that I leaned into my chair just to mad dog you.
So no, you actually came remarkably close. So they told me about your manic search on Monday.
Who's they?
Everyone.
Good.
So
I want them to know that I'm willing to actually set this place on fire.
Coworkers were like, yeah, he told me to tell him immediately if it's ever in this area.
Snitches.
They get stitches.
Yeah, they will when this is over.
Anywho, so
wait,
I'm actually the one reeling us back in. Look at this. Reel.
Yeah.
Reel. So, as we mentioned, Overwatch 2, Dragon's Dogma 2, and then, what was the other one you mentioned?
Oh, Diablo 4? Yeah. Diablo 4, we already know has been coming out, but they've been showing more stuff about it, and it looks leaps and bounds above Immortal, because Immortal came out, and everyone... I don't even want to talk about it.
There are certain games that should never come to mobile. Diablo is a certain game that should never come to mobile.
So that raises the question about the games that you're excited for.
Mm-hmm. I'm not excited for the mobile ones. No. One of them's horrible. The other one is actually very story and narrative driven over a 10-act series, which I'm thankful for. But knowing Square Enix, they're going to botch it and it's going to be 10 acts of paywall. No.
So you don't like the fact that they're also remaking Final Fantasy VII, Infinite Crisis, or whatever it's called, where Superman shows up.
So John spoiled my fun. The Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary also happened.
Mm-hmm.
So before the gaming news, the Professional Symphony A New World is going to be touring the United States and Canada. If you are near there, go enjoy it. The last time I did like a video game concert, it was the orchestra that was playing Legend of Zelda, like through the ages, all the way from 1 to Breath of the Wild. It was so amazing, and it was so well done. Go see that. If you have the ability, tickets are very inexpensive. I think they're $50.
The industry is really jumping on this whole symphony series because they have the Sonic one, they had the Zelda one, like you just mentioned, and now they're doing the Final Fantasy ones.
And the Sonic one's going to Brazil, we found out.
Yeah, and it might have Crush 40 in them, actually, performing at BGS, which is pretty crazy.
How cool would that be if you got backstage to pick some Sonic Brain?
Have you seen that video online of the guy playing like Gilva Sunner's video of Live and Learn, where it's Live and Learn, but when Johnny does the ooh at the first bridge, it just sustains that note for the entire rest of the song and gets higher pitched.
Oh god, I have not seen that. I don't want to see that.
They played it in front of Jun Sonoe, the guitarist, and he was just like, and he just like starts smiling and he starts laughing like, no way.
That's ridiculous.
And they're like, oh, it keeps going. He just starts laughing some more. Oh, it's beautiful.
So for you Final Fantasy fans, we are feasting very good. So I'll start with the biggest announcement, in my opinion, is the Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth, the second chapter. So they have confirmed that it's going to be 3 chapters, like the 3 discs that we had originally. So that's kind of cool. We know there's going to be a finite end, and it won't be milked indefinitely.
That's good, because it'll just be like as bad as Kingdom Hearts.
And I'm excited to see where they go with it. The little bit of the clip that we actually had like Cloud and Sephiroth.
They were holding hands walking through the forest.
Not through the forest, but like over a burn up rubbly bridge. So I'm curious to see what they do. The other really awesome news, Crisis Core is getting a remake. And I know
Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Good Edition in my eyes.
Zack, the good boy.
Yeah, bestest boy.
Until Jack. You notice they kept it the same, Zack, Jack.
Mm-hmm, Zack, Jack, and Cloud.
Clack.
Thunderclap. He's clapping them cheeks.
Thunderclap.
He's clapping Tifa's cheeks.
A, B, C, D. That's Elmo clapping cheeks. Well, this one's explicit again.
This is Elmo. Oh, you talking back? Shut the hell up before I crush you with my wallet.
So, Final Fantasy fans, you're feasting very good. They have 2 mobile games coming out as well. One's story-driven, the other's just kind of there. My concern with the story-driven one, it is divided into 10 acts, and if Square charges for each act, that's going to suck.
Wait, so what is being divided up into acts?
So
the Final Fantasy VII remake that has kind of the original-ish looking graphics?
The chibi one, yeah.
Right. That actually looks appealing to me.
So it looks appealing, but it is actually... So I like the fact that the story is divided into 10 parts to give you something continuous. Because when it comes to a mobile game,
are you really going to sit down for like an entire 80 hours on your iPad?
Yeah, the only one is Fantasian right now on Apple Arcade. Like, it is a full-blown JRPG.
I think that kind of stuff, it's like, what's funny is that a lot of people are trying to put these action games and stuff on mobile where it's like, or they put like idle games or something where it's like really easy, so it just looks like it has a lot of spectacle to it.
Yep.
So it kind of tricks you into thinking it's very action-oriented, when like a Dragon Quest would be perfect for mobile.
They have a Dragon Quest for mobile.
I mean, like the original Dragon Warrior game just on mobile with an autosave.
Yeah, they have that on mobile too.
I have to go.
You can actually buy all the way through 7 on mobile.
Is it like the pixel remaster looking ones that look like crap?
No, it's like legit one.
The earliest Nintendo looking pixels.
If I remember correctly, I could be wrong.
Well, they're also doing the remake of 3 in like the
Octopath HD 2D.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I liked Octopath's graphics.
It just reminds me of Golden Sun, and I'm just like, where'd Camelot go?
Nintendo, that was a franchise you killed way too soon. They could have continued after the Game Boy Advance. And I know it feels like that junk drawer is opening quite a bit because all of this is seeping in because there are disappointments in the world.
It's a freaking podcast where we talk about video games. Everything is tangentially related to everything else especially when we're talking about new video games. Of course you're going to talk about old video games.
Yep, that's what we do. So, no, Camelot needs to come back. Golden Sun as a franchise needs to come back.
Redout 2 is coming out, and that's basically the spiritual successor to F-Zero.
Oh, speaking into existence, by the way, in a very awesome way, and you're hearing it first as well.
Oh God, no.
Might actually be getting an early access to Rollerdrome. And we have to do a review on it, John.
I will play the shit out of that game.
So they got back to me. So I'm just waiting to see if we've made the cut. If we've made the cut, as I wave this sword around,
it's a magic wand.
It's going to be a whole new world.
You need to put materia in there to make it so that it comes.
White materia, go.
Oh, there's only one, and it was in Aerith's hair.
Oh, man. So that's some fun facts for you. If that does happen, like if we are fortunate enough to get that early access, that is something that John and I, we're going to stream and we're going to play so you guys can actually kind of see it for yourselves firsthand. Early access. I'm excited for this. I know John's excited for this. That kind of game is right up his alley. Me, I'm probably going to die on every half pipe, but I don't care. It looks fun.
Special guest, Tony Hawk, in rollerblades. We had no idea this was going to happen.
He has the skateboard gun and it just shoots trucks at you.
Why not just have do it like light cycles but skateboards?
That would be so ridiculous.
Yeah, it'd be dope.
So, honestly, this is a very convoluted and confusing episode when you think about it, but we got some good games. We're feasting good. Summer Games Fest has kind of wound down, and now we're getting into the nitty-gritty where a lot of the games that we're spoken about are going to start coming out. Mm-hmm. Stray comes out July 19th. We have all the Endless RPGs coming out. We have...
The two games that I talked about in our intro were shown during the show. Then we're like, oh yeah, it comes out on June 16th. I'm like, sweet, I'll buy those day one.
And you did.
And I played them, and they're fun.
So...
Thank you, Jeff Keighley. Thank you for participating in the Video Game Olympics.
Oh, man. So, you as a gamer, you're feasting good this year. Take time to enjoy it. I challenge you, and I think John will echo this sentiment. Get out of your comfort zone with gaming, because this is, if you look at it, we have everything from a cyberpunk stray cat to a fox in a tunic to, what'd you call it, neon white?
Yes. The card-based boomer shooter first-person angel assassin game.
All the way to Crisis Core being remade. That is a wide gamut of games.
Mm-hmm.
It's high time you tried something new. Even myself, I'm playing Super Mario Strikers Battle League. And I've been doing that. I've been playing some more Madden. This is a time to enjoy and dive into gaming like you haven't dove before.
I think it's actually kind of funny that summer is usually like the gamer season.
Well, think about it. Kids are getting out of school.
That's what I was going to say. Is that kids are getting out of school, so they'll have time to actually stay inside and not go outside in the summer because global warming is going to kill us all. But it's also because it makes sense in terms of like a fiscal year type thing, where it's like, okay, the fiscal year just ended, so let's announce all the new stuff that's coming out around the holidays this year is going to make us a lot of money. So yeah. And speaking of stepping out of your comfort zone, one of the games I did that with the other year was with Resident Evil 8 Village. And Capcom had their showcase. So this, I think, will be the last proper show we'll talk about. Capcom held their, I want to keep calling it Captivate, even though it's not that, but they had their, game showcase where they showed off and elaborated more on the remake of Resident Evil 4, which it's one of those things where you have to parse your news side versus your opinion side, because opinion-wise, for me, I'm like, this did not need to be remade. They have re-released the original Resident Evil 4 so much, and people see it with such high regard and esteem that, like, what could a remake possibly bring to it to make it better?
It's a Resident Evil Skyrim.
Oh, but if you remade the entirety of Skyrim. But
oh, don't give them ideas. Don't give them ideas.
They're doing it. It's called Starfield. Anyway. But the other things that they showed off were, if you're a big Resident Evil fan, stop sucking Cloud's dick. No. Actually, let's film it so I can watch it later. I'm going to play that later. But they're re-releasing, or at least bringing the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes over to PS5 and Xbox Series X and S.
So I saw that. That was the little bit of information I did see, because a friend of mine, he's a super diehard Resident Evil fan. This man even has, you remember the limited edition PlayStation 2 controller with the chainsaw?
Yep.
He has 4 of those.
One for each hand.
For his multi-tap.
So when you're playing Mario Strikers on the GameCube, you can all chainsaw each other when you get pissed. Yeah.
It's, I don't know, I think, so obviously my bias leans towards the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy, but I'm going to hold my bias. I think Capcom, they were the ones that kind of stole the show this summer.
Really now?
Street Fighter 6.
Yes.
We got a little bit more of Exoprimal. I saw some of that popping up. The Resident Evil stuff, the Resident Evil VR stuff.
Yep.
Like,
they're bringing a lot. Like, the thing is that for me, okay, I will wholly admit I have traded away my copy of RE8 because I had my experience with it and I was done. Then they're announcing Gold Edition, and I'm like, okay, new DLC, and you get to play as Vampire Mommy. Sweet, let's do it.
It's I don't know. Like, I feel like there's so much promise with these things. It's, look at this game, look at this. And then there's always like bitter disappointment, because like, remember the Sony State of Play where they're like, we're sorry to tell you Final Fantasy 16 is delayed till 2023. You promised that us in 2020. We'll get it 3 years later.
Thanks. I wonder what happened.
I mean, the end of the world. World.
You said the world's ending. Yeah, it already did.
The World Ends With You too. Also came out. Way back in the day.
Was that any good?
No.
Why? What was bad?
So, random tangent. So you remember the first one, how it felt really endearing and kind of unique on the DS, right?
Yeah.
And then they remade the first one for the Switch.
Yeah.
And it completely took you out from the cool experience.
Well, the touchscreen wasn't the reason why the game was good.
You are very right. But it felt very hollow on the Switch. And then the second one didn't capture any of the magic. So, like, Bravely Default into Bravely Default 2. Bravely Default 2 captured a lot of the magic from Bravely Default 1. This game kind of fell flat.
Well, like, there's not a whole lot.
It's like Human fell flat.
There's not a whole lot to Twewy, you know what I mean? It's like jaded, misanthropic kid, just learns how to be a human being.
Yeah.
Like, that's the story. All you need to do is replicate that same type of emotional connection, but you also have the baggage of the original cast coming back that could, potentially throw a wrench into stuff or maybe help these kids along. Like, that's all you really needed to do. So if it didn't deliver on that in any way, then I can guess why it'd be bad.
So it's, yeah. But back to Capcom. I think
Street Fighter 6, I'm so fucking excited. Holy shit. When
it comes to things that are going to be delivered well, we know some of the bigs are, like Overwatch 2, that's going to be delivered very well. Like, they've put
because they got Papa Microsoft money now.
They put a lot of money into that, a lot of R&D. And they have blueprints for success for longevity in games. I mean, case in point, World of Warcraft,
Yeah,
right?
they're Blizzard. Of course they do. Except for when it comes to their workforce. Heyo.
So, like, yeah, that was cool. I mean, yeah, Sony stayed up, like, all of you know I am a Sony fanboy. I will admit it, clear and free. But Capcom, I don't know, like, Capcom, I feel like I'm not going to be hollowly disappointed with kind of a shell of what I'm seeing. Like Street Fighter 6, that's going to deliver. That's going to day one deliver, right?
Yep, hopefully. Street Fighter 5 tried to, and
it took a little bit.
I loved Street Fighter 5, and I loved my time I had with it, but it took a while for it to get actually pretty good.
So we'll cross our fingers. Then we know about Exoprimal. Like
Yeah.
that, like regardless if it's a play it once and done, you're killing raining dinos. That's just fun.
When they say like it's a raptor storm coming in, I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
And then we have I'm brain farting. What else was coming out from Capcom? Like I'm high on
They
Capcom.
freaking stealth dropped at the end of it, like, oh, we forgot. Just one more thing, Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yep. And then all the Resident Evil stuff, like I feel like those are going to be delivered well. Like Resident Evil 4, yeah, it's a remake, but it's still Resident Evil 4, arguably the best one in the franchise, right?
Yeah.
Enough said.
Enough said.
So Capcom, you take the trophy, which is Cloud's Buster Sword, in my hands from this podcast of obscurity. You are the champion of the Summer Games Olympics.
Now, Mega Man 12 and Mega Man X9, you bastards.
Actually, did you not see the leak?
What? What leak? What?
You didn't see the leak on the new Mega Man X coming out?
You're not talking about X-Dive, are you?
No.
Where's my phone?
Just kidding. I wanted to see what you would do.
I was going to go and actually qualify your statement, and then you just admitted that you're a liar. So, you know?
Actually, so there has been rumored talks in Japan about furthering both the Mega Man X and Mega Man franchises.
Good.
So 11 was met with quite a bit of success on all the platforms it released on. It sold good units.
Yeah.
It was a fun experience.
And it was also like a cheaply made experience. So they were just like, yeah, like if we make back our money, let's make another one.
Well, think about it. Mega Man is not going to be an expensive game, no matter what.
I mean, there's a lot of ways you could make it polished a bit more. I don't know. Like the fact that they actually introduced a new mechanic, because Mega Man 9 and 10, they did not feel like sequels. They felt like purposely like retro fodder. Whereas 11 felt like a true sequel. All of the abilities and all of the stuff that you have grown up to love about Mega Man as a franchise was back with a new thing in it to make it so you could actually get a new gameplay experience.
So that would be one thing. Like if Capcom were to suddenly announce, here's a continuation of the Mega Man franchise, like the rumors are leading. Or if they
Mega Man 8-2.
watch them left field it, Mega Man Legends: The Return.
Mega Man Legends 3, if they revived that dead project, oh man. Now we're just like friggin' fantasy hour.
Thanks for listening to the news. Now we're into the spectacle.
Now we're gonna jerk each other off.
Circle power.
Guess who's doing it? Who's the best?
It's called Dutch ruddering. Dutch ruddering.
What's the... Damn it, there's a joke where it's like something about birthday spankings where it's like, please just don't spank me from the front.
That's what helicoptering's for.
Now flew away. Thank God you're editing this one. Jesus.
ASMR Daddy.
I cut that. Okay, we're back.
ASMR Daddy.
Cut that too. Okay, we're back. I swear to God, I will actually send you him in pieces. I am in full control of his fate.
You know, you bring up a good question, because so this episode, ladies and gentlemen, this has been all over the place, and thank you for kind of re-following our junk drawer that wasn't a full junk drawer this time. What franchise would you like to see revived? No questions asked. We already spoke about it with Mega Man.
Tomba.
Yo, if they brought that back, I'd be happy.
Yeah, it was a platformer, story-based adventure game. They don't make those anymore. They really don't. So just the idea of you having a very simple quest. You start off as this, cave boy. Because the connection to Mega Man, it was made by one of the character designers of Mega Man. So there you go. But Yeah, Tombow was really cool because it opens up, someone stole your bracelet. Then it goes off into this crazy big adventure of these evil pigs trying to take over the world because they need gold. I'm like, okay. So anti-capitalism, the game. Sweet. I'm cool. I'm cool with it.
That one would be really fun. Do you know what else would be really, 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 really full pause, really nonstop, awesome to see?
What?
Dinosaurs for Hire.
The comic book?
No, remember it was a Genesis game too.
It was a Genesis game. I think it was based on a comic book.
No, that would be weird.
Honestly, it was the 90s, bro. Everything was weird.
Honestly, a return to Comic Zone.
Oh, Comic Zone would be the shit. I would play the shit out of that game.
That would be really cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that its premise, I'm wondering what people would do to explore the premise more, because it was just a beat 'em up type game, and the novelty was the set dressing. So, like, what could you do with comics again?
VR.
Oh, God.
That would be a cool VR experience. That is, like, set up perfectly to take advantage of the limitations of VR.
Or, you know, it's funny because there was another game that came out called Comic Jumper, and the way that they kind of answered that question of what do you do next is basically be like, okay, we'll just make it different comic books. So instead of just having one, like, you know, McFarlane comic that you go through in a video game, it goes through, like, imagine you go through, like, a noir comic or, like, you know, an old Charleston comic or something from the 30s, or you go through, like, a modern, you know, 80s, 90s comic or something from the New 52 era, and genres and stuff like that. So
that would be really fun. So
frickin' here's your story. It's Comic Zone 2. Sketch Turner starts basically a parody of Image Comics, and then he kind of rests on his laurels. And he has all these franchises he doesn't give a shit about. So frickin' Prime is there, and all these heroes are there.
Jesus.
And the X-Force and everything. But yeah, and then he gets sucked back in by Mortis or whatever, or some other new villain who's like supposed to be cooler than Mortis, but then Mortis is like jelly, so it's like whatever. And so he has to frickin', you know, dust off his frickin' carpal tunnel gloves and go in and start beating stuff up again in different comic universes.
That would be a good time.
And he can beat up Supreme while he's there and, you know, go into the boys and destroy that.
So this has been a pretty random thing. So yeah, I think we're at peace with this episode.
All right.
Now, before I let you go, there's always a little bit more fun with this game of Virus that I am playing. The virus is actually mutating.
I feel like this is in very bad taste, by the way, but continue.
After next week, I might have also acquired an asinine amount of Bubsy 2. For Genesis this time.
I already have a copy. I don't know what any more of.
I know, but the virus is mutating. For every copy of Bubsy, you find 2 more of Sonic and the Secret Rings populate. Every copy of Sonic and the Secret Rings you find will eliminate Bubsy. And if you find the original, it just kills it all. Also, if you find the original Bubsy, that will kill it all as well. So you have 2 full outs now.
You know what? I'm going to rescind by extension to the Air Force and just like separate now, so I'll never have to deal with this.
Guess what? He finally revealed his job.
Yeah, yours too, fool.
I pity the fool. Yeah. No, I did not do that. That would be horrible.
Wait, do what?
The Bubsy stuff.
Okay, thank God.
That would be horrible. This is at least harmless, and it feels like the entire office is kind of on my side. And I love this.
I need to start mad dogging more of our coworkers into getting what I want.
Are you at least having fun with it?
It's funny.
So you actually get the humor in it?
Yeah, it's funny. It just pisses me off, too.
So what you're saying is I need to evolve this game of Virus to have 2 sides.
What I'm saying is this has been Games with John and James. I'm John.
And I'm James.
And whatever the hell this is, I hope you enjoyed it.
So, it's a blurb of an episode. We'll call this Blurp, the episode.
We'll call this Summer Games Refractory Period.
So, you know you can always find us on Instagram and Facebook at Games with John and James.
I like how that's the point where you're like, okay, episode over.
I mean, yeah, fair. You can also find John on Twitter. That is the exclusive John exposure.
Exclusive John exposure. I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. Zip.
Instagram is the James Experience. And YouTube is it's going to be a mutual one. Speaking into existence, the RPG Doctor will be in session.
I also need to start uploading more episodes of the show to YouTube. I have been pretty slow with that because of just the nature of exporting stuff. So, unfortunately...
And the fact that we've been balls-ass busy.
Yeah, I hate that being the excuse, though. Because it's like, yeah, a lot of people are busy. It's like, boo-hoo. But, yeah.
Boo-hoo.
You're fired. I actually spit on my microphone. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, by the way, if you look over there and you see the microphone to your right, the microwave, bleh, look underneath. That is where one was this week.
I was going to look in the mic. Okay, just making sure. Because if it was in here, I would have actually started it.
Would you have been like, yes, one down?
Yes, the bad guy is winning.
Wait, so I'm the good guy in this?
Yes. Have you ever had any doubt who the heel is in this relationship?
Yes. Because I feel like look, heels carry the match. I carry the match.
Oh, for fuck's sake. We're going to get into an actual fight about this. All right, let's wind down.
Cue wrestling music.
I'm just a sexy boy.
No, you already did that. We need more.
Time to play the game.
No,
or you do rolling.
Can you smell what James is hiding? Oh, and then there was one more right there.
Where? What? Here?
It was, open it up. It was on that side. Turn around where you see the orange piece of paper. On the back side of it. It was right there last week.
I don't come to the studio every fucking day, man.
I only had 2. So, studio will now forevermore only have 1 copy. I will keep the majority in play at work. I'm James, everybody, and I'm crazy.
And he's somehow the face, even though he's the one who's, putting me through this hell.
You know what the number 1 lie in the world is? That Kane and Undertaker were brothers, and now the number 1 lie in the world is that I am the heel. When in reality, I'm the face, and I'm a psycho face. I'm the face that's going to murder John with the secret rings. We'll see if John, the heel, can take it.
Are you done?
Yeah, I kind of am.
Okay, cool. This has been Games with John and James, y'all. Hope you had fun.
Bye, everybody.